recording and let's go live. Right. Okay, welcome back to episode number 16 of the Blossoming into You show. My name is Miko and I'll be your host today. Alongside with me, we have Teja. And on today's topic, we're going to be discussing how to blossom into a successful entrepreneur using our gifts, being exactly who we are and bringing our full essence to the table. So with that being said, Teja, welcome to the show. I'm so excited and so honored
Thank
to have you.
you.
All right. So before we went on live, Teja, me and you, we talked about a little bit about your background. I was just so inspired by you. So if you would like to share with our audience just a little bit about how did you got here? How did you get to where you're at today, where you want to become an entrepreneur using your gifts and making such a powerful impact on our planet?
Yeah, it's amazing that I am here. I'm just so thrilled. I swear every day. It's like I turned 50 this year, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's like a big number." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? I'm so excited. I love being 50 because, there was a time in my life where I didn't even know I was going to see my next birthday. So, I guess that's kind of maybe a good starting point. So where I was just about 20 years ago, um, I was 29. I just had my son, and he was 4 months old. I found a lump in my neck, and I had never even been once in the hospital. I mean, I was a very healthy kid. I never, it, you know, parents were healthy, they fit. I was too, so I didn't think anything of it. I went to the doctors, and then he starts telling me different scenarios, and none of them sounded good. And
Mhm.
I left there totally freaked out and went for a biopsy, and it turned out it was thyroid cancer, and unfortunately it was metastatic. It had already spread to my chest, and that was absolutely devastating. I just went from, like a newlywed, like just 2 years married and having my first born son, you know that, like I said, 4 months old, to the whole, it felt like somebody just took the floor, right from under me. And so that the good news, or at least I thought it was the good news, doctors told me, oh, it's the good cancer, and it's one and done. You get a surgery and a treatment, and you're good to go. um no, I was the complete opposite. um many surgeries later, many radiation treatments. I had mega doses of radiation, so much so that they basically gave me the highest dose they could before, without killing me. They call it dosimetry, so they test your bone marrow and all this good stuff. So they take out my thyroid, and so now I have to get, supplemented. And the whole point of saying all that was, now, like, I am so depleted. I don't have a um, thyroid, regulates your all the systems in your body. So
Mhm.
basically, I was shutting down. I was basically dying, like, almost every day without any replacement hormone, which they did frequently because they have to starve the thyroid cells. So what happens is, I struggled every day to just make it to the end of the day. I mean, a good day was when I made it, without any major catastrophes or anything like that. And so that was basically my existence. I hate to say it, for the majority of the next 15 years. There was a point where I decided, my husband, he's now my ex. We had planned on having two children, and the doctor said, well, the good news is that it is very slow growing. Go ahead if you want to. We'll continue to watch you. So I decided I did. I because I was an only child, and I didn't want my son to be an only child. So we had my daughter, and the experience was completely different. I felt like my son was so easy. He's like me. He's just very easy, very adaptable, just kind of set him down and easy peasy. My daughter was, I call her my spirited child. No, you can't just put her down and, with some toys. She's all over, very active. And I thought, oh my gosh, I can't even. So my plan of making it to the end of the day was I felt like I wasn't making it, and I thought to myself, something has to change, something. That something was me, really, just trying to tap into some kind of energy. And uh, she always wanted to do things, and I didn't have the energy. So it just forced me. One day I went out, I walked out of the house. I was literally sick and tired, being so sick and tired. And I just started walk, run to the stop sign, exhausted. I mean, it's like right there, And I kept doing that. I did that like, 3 times a week, 4 times. And next thing you know, ran a mile, then I ran a mile, 5 miles, 10 miles. You get the picture, right? Um, and finally at 10 miles, I said, holy cow, I can do this. I signed up for a marathon, and through it all, I still had, still going. Um, I finally had my last surgery and radiation treatment after my daughter was born. And then they were just monitoring me. So I had a little energy now from the running, and I was starting to feel a little bit better. But it was still very difficult because now with all the radiation affected my endocrine system also, so um, I developed a lot of female issues, heavy bleeding, fibroids, you name it. And so during my training, I could not really complete my training for the marathon. I got up to like 16 miles training, and then I had to stop. I had to stop training. I only could do my elliptical, no impact. And I basically I just showed up. It's just been my motto. It's just say yes and show up. So I just showed up at the marathon, and my coach said to me, I did this through team and training, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So my coach says to me, um, don't worry, I got you. Even if I have to carry you across the finish line, you're gonna make it. And I looked at him, and I remember very determined. I was like, I will cross that finish line on my own 2 feet. No, you're not picking me up. And so I was probably the slowest runner there, but I made it and I finished it. And that was one of the most awesome feelings. I did it in Disneyland. So, and it was my daughter's 4th birthday. So to
Wow.
run through Cinderella's castle and everything it was one of my favorite memories.
And
Favorite,
Teja,
favorite.
this has been so inspirational so far, and I just want to jump in real quick because I'm hearing a lot of like powerful, nuggets just by having you share this journey with us. Like a couple of things, one of them being just how powerfully resilient our bodies really are. And when we can, what I'm hearing you say, like in that moment, your willpower, like it was so much bigger than your current conditions of your body at that stage when you could barely just walk and run to the stop sign to doing a marathon, like that is just beyond what most people would think is possible. But your willpower was so much bigger than your conditions. And I've been listening to a really powerful audiobook. I share this all the time. Michael Singer's Living from a Place of Surrender. And last night he mentioned something about how even our physical body, it's not us. Like we are the consciousness witnessing everything that unfolds in front of us. So like if we can step all the way back to understanding that even our physical body is not us, and just trusting the wisdom, the divine plan, the blueprint of our physical body. And when we can detach from that and trusting, like creating, I mean, the way I look at it is like creating a support, like a divine perfect well-being that allows the physical body to heal, to catch up to this like original divinity of the body. I think I'm going too abstract by now, but I don't know if any of that
No,
is
I get,
resonating
I
with you.
love that stuff. Yeah, I'm totally there.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So Tej, I don't know if that was like your journey, like for the rest, like as you continue to heal, as you continue to dive into other modalities of healing, what have you started to notice? Like really share with us more about that. This may
So
be new for some of
yeah,
us.
exactly. Um, so what happened was I started to transition out of running because I realized it was taking a toll on my body. I couldn't do the running like I wanted to. So somehow Reiki found me. I get this pamphlet in the mail, and I was like, oh my gosh, I could do this. I was, and I signed up for training. I'm in training. I love it. Reiki 1. I started tapping into my spirituality, my third eye. Everything started waking up. Energy. I was feeling energy in a different way than running. I was like, it was I didn't have to run to feel the energy is kind of what I'm saying. I tapped into my own, energy. And so as I was proceeding, through level 1, level 2 Reiki, it led me to Kundalini. And Kundalini was a word that I had no clue what Kundalini was. I just remember I was always dreaming of snakes and things like this, and I was like telling my Reiki master, "What I don't understand. What is, why am I dreaming of snakes repeatedly?" He said, "Oh, that's Kundalini energy. It's starting to wake up." And I'm like, I was like baffled. I was like, "Yeah, all right. I don't know what you're saying, but whatever." And so he says to me, "Don't worry, you'll find out." And no lie, it was the next week I show up. I was in this really gentle yoga, like once a week. I show up to class, and the teacher says, "Oh, just letting you know, we have a 8-week beginners course in Kundalini Yoga." I was just like, "What?" I was like, Sign me up. I'm there." I had no
Mhm.
idea what it was. And let me tell you, it was one of the hardest things I've ever done. You move your body in ways that you don't normally move them. And and to be honest, it almost looks a little weird, but what I've realized is that everything that we do in Kundalini Yoga, there is a very specific reason. It targets the endocrine system, majority. So that was a main thing for me, the endocrine system. It also targets the respiratory, digestive, the nervous system, which we are learning about now in the Vita coaching, right? The parasympathetic nervous system, all this stuff. And of course, the muscles too, so you are gaining strength and the energetic bodies. So it's the whole package. And I was so not prepared. I had no idea. And what happened was after the 8 weeks, well, let me just jump in there. Just before the 8 weeks ended, I had this dream, and I was having these snake dreams that this like huge, I mean, it was the grossest big green snake, ugly fangs and everything, was basically choking me like around my neck. And I tell people and they're like looking at me like, and I stared this, it was like a snake dragon kind of thing, stared it right in the eyes, and I ripped it off and threw it, flung it, blood guts flying everywhere. And I came to the last class and I was so excited. And I said to my teacher, "Oh my gosh, I dreamt this dream." She says, "Is that good?" And I said, "Yes." I somehow connected it to that I was going to heal. I was healing. So I daily self Reiki, daily Kundalini practice. I went for that the next month was when I was due again for lab work. My thyroid cancer, the cancer marker was undetectable. Yes, I know. And I didn't even believe it. And I was like, no, 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 no. I need my result. What's the result? And she said it again. It was basically zero. It was like 0.09 or something. And so that was mind blowing to me. I
My
mean,
goodness. I'm just getting chills. Like I always get chills when I talk to my guests on these episodes because everything it's there's I don't believe in coincidences like Teja. I don't know about you, but
yeah,
like that was a divine synchronicity or a sign, whatever you want to call it. But that symbol of the snake, like with the Kundalini energy, and that you pulled it, like ripped it away, it's to me that symbolized you being in your power and you like no more of this cancer, like especially in your throat area. Like that's not a coincidence,
right.
and and that's so powerful. So because you were the one that been through that journey, so you can speak into that. Like what do you feel like the difference between, let's say, traditional, the chemotherapy, the traditional scientific path to healing cancer to versus Reiki and like Kundalini yoga? For some of us tuning in, they may have no idea like how is that even related to treating cancer. But from your personal experience, like speak more into how did that work? What was really shifting in you
Yeah, I
that
can tell
created the
you
healing?
a
Yeah.
very good question. So I learned all about that, right? Because this was so new to me. I had never heard of a chakra. I never heard of, any kundalini, like I said, nothing. Um, so what I found out is that so Kundalini Yoga encompasses, like I said, many different aspects. So we use mantra, which is like words, but it's in a language that is even older than Sanskrit. Which, if most people might be familiar with Sanskrit, um, it's Gurmukhi, and it's a very powerful. So mantras are powerful in its own, but when you pronounce it, especially like in a language like Gurmukhi, where the tongue is hitting the roof of your mouth, um, it's tapping into the higher endocrine glands, the hypothalamus, the thalamus, the pituitary, the pineal, all that. And so they start to secrete, and you get all those good, feel good hormones and everything flowing. It increases the spinal fluid. So all this stuff is happening. So we have asanas and postures. So a lot of times, we're like flapping our arms or something. You're like, why, and because we have lymph nodes. We do a lot of, neck turns and stuff. We have lymph nodes here. Um, so mantra, and then mudra, certain mudras, right? They are touching reflexology, meridians, and all this stuff. And so mantra, mudra, oh, and breath, pranayama, right? So breath work is amazing. So I realized I had never breathed. Barely, like we breathe through here.
Yeah.
So when we take these full deep breaths, we're fully oxygenating our whole entire being. We're enlivening, we're bringing prana, fresh prana into our cells. And I'm a visual person, very visual. So I have uh, I would literally see my cells light up. Um, like a I always picture like a ping pong, not a ping pong, a pinball. So you know how everything lights and whistles and
Yeah.
that's how I vision my breath flowing through my body, just lighting things up. And so breath, so we have the asana, so we're moving, the mantras, we're chanting, and this was very, very powerful for me. The chanting. So my throat, not my throat, but my the chakra, my throat chakra was obviously in a very inactive, weakened state. As a little girl, I spoke in a whisper. I was a very timid, shy girl, and I grow up to be a timid, shy woman. And I never voiced anything. I never rocked the boat, that kind of thing. And now you're asking me to chant, I mean, more than a whisper, So I was like, what? I was so out of my comfort zone and in a language I have no idea. And, but guess what? I did it. It feels awesome. I'm vibrating, like something is working. And um, so it's like, why would I go back? You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's no reason to question it because it works.
You know what you're saying, it's like the way what's landing for me, what's resonating like with my truth and what I believe in is that like traditional scientific medical field, it's important, but they are treating more so like the physical form of the human body versus when you do Reiki, Kundalini energy, it's like the non-physical components of us. And if you guys do believe in, spirit and consciousness, like energy, then it's, and to me, I think even cancer, like even the worst case of illness, like it really reflects the beautiful divine workings of our physical body. It's almost like something is going wrong, going out of alignment to show us that there's something like in our energetic field that's going out of harmony, and could be from emotional blockages, could be from something from the past that we haven't integrated or healed or looked at, and then it manifests itself into like cancer. And for you, like it's so symbolic of, not having a voice, not owning like what you want to express, and then it manifests into something that was a cancer. And but even then, it shows that the body is just in such perfect divine working. It's doing everything that it can to show us, hey, something is out of alignment here, and it is our responsibility to tune back into that state of harmony. I love this topic, Teja. I wish we can talk all day, but I know we're coming very close to the end, and
Sure.
let's wrap this up with the main topic of this conversation, right? Like now that you've been through this amazing,
Sure.
inspirational, powerful journey, like how are you transitioning into becoming an entrepreneur, really like serving others with your path, with your gifts?
So, yeah, that's something that I've just been exploring because I knew that the throat chakra and the sacral chakra are very tied, linked together. So I
Mhm.
knew there was issues I needed to clear up there as well, and that's why I'm in this Vita coaching with Layla, right? So love, sex, and relationships, and um, so I thought, great, okay, well now I'll just move out of yoga and Reiki, and I'll just go into coaching. But the more I thought about it, I cannot, leave that. It's like my kids, like I can't leave them behind, it's part of me. So what I've been finding now, I'm starting to weave it into my practice of, one-to-one coaching with a little Reiki or Gong. I do Gong as well, or yoga and meditation. And I take everybody, on an individual basis. So depending on what they tell me, what I feel they need, you know, that's how I'll proceed. So now I'm kind of at the point where I have to somehow, how do I package it, right? And we were saying like package, and you came up with the perfect response. It's like, you are the package, and so that's kind of where I'm at. I have to realize, yeah, I am the package. It's in my delivery. It's bringing it all together. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm just struggling with. I'm new to this, and
Mhm.
but I know that it'll work itself out. I know that I don't have to choose. It's just how.
Yeah, well, and one of the big thing that I feel like it's really created a massive jump for you just by recognizing like, hey, you are the package, like you are the essence that anyone who comes to you would love support or coaching from. Like they want you, they want your energy, they want your experience, they want what you've been through, they want your wisdom. So and I think this is really great. I love this where we are going into, because like I know a lot of our listeners or even people that are maybe just first time tuning into my show or hearing about stories like yours, Teja, like some people are in this conversation that entrepreneurship is not for me, but that's the biggest like illusion that anyone can believe in, because we all are capable of becoming an entrepreneur. Basically it's about our journey and how you can utilize that wisdom and your experience and turn that into something where you can support others, serve others, and get paid for it. That's it. Like it's so simple. And for someone like you, Tasia, with your experience and what you've been through, it's only gonna change like so many people's lives, like so many people's, like in terms of physical healing, coming back home to who you are and creating energetic like alignment. That's gonna change the world. Like I'm just so excited for you.
Thank you. Yes, it's
Yeah.
really exciting.
Okay, well, I want to acknowledge you, Teja, for your courage. Like I don't even want to say like I know what it was like, because I really do not. I cannot imagine, 15 years of that kind of challenge. But really going back to what we both learned yesterday from Layla, our coach, I think she mentioned something about like understanding and trusting that everything is the play of life. Like even the worst like challenges, the darkest like moments in our lives, like understanding that we chose that, understanding that we picked those experiences so that it's a part of our play of life and we get to have the fun of coming out of it, rising up from it and gaining massive wisdom from that. So the way I look at it, it's been such a beautiful journey for you, and I'm sure you can speak on that as as your own personal experience. But is there any word you would like to leave the audience with? Maybe if they are in your position, maybe just a decade ago, what would you speak into them now?
Um, I would say, you know, you are perfect just the way you are. There is, I remember like beating myself up, like, why was I this, was that, and what I realized is that no, we are already perfect. Everything is already within us. So always, sometimes it's like a jewel, right? Like a jewel that gets in a jewelry box and we haven't touched it for a while and it gets dirty, dusty. Take up the jewel, you polish it off, and you see its brilliance, like a diamond, right? You just you just polish it up. We are perfect already. It's you just need to allow it to, come out of the box basically, right? And that's what I would say. I mean, that's how
No, I
I
love
look
that.
at
I
look at
love that analogy. Sorry, let me close the window. There's constructions. Okay, so no, I love that analogy because like the way I look at it, it's all about us letting go, purging off the garbage, off the toxic beliefs and the conditionings and the past wounding that we haven't healed. It's about purging off that, like, dusting off the dust from the jewelry, and then allowing our perfect well-being and the divine essence to be shined through. Like, to me, that's my work, that's my devotion to life, in terms of like what my number one priority really is. It's about letting go of all of that that's not me, on a mental, emotional, physical, spiritual level, sexual level. And then we come back to that perfection that's already at the core inside of all of us. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah, such a beautiful conversation. Thank you, Teja. And
Yeah.
thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. Like, if this really spoke to you, if this resonated with you for whatever challenges that maybe you are going through, physically, mentally, emotionally, doesn't matter, let us know. Like, really speak to us. You can share on Facebook here if you're watching on Facebook Live, or email me back, and I will make sure to relay that message as well to Teja. Share your thoughts with us.
I
Really
can
open up.
give you my
Yeah.
email too.
Sure.
It's Rise and Divine, actually. It's Rise and Divine Wellness at gmail.com.
Yeah. Feel free to.
And like Rise, AND Divine at gmail.com. I'm
Okay.
sorry,
Yeah.
Wellness. Yeah.
Rise and Divine
Wellness
Wellness at
at,
gmail.com.
yep.
Okay. Yeah, feel free to reach out and connect. Like, if you really resonated with Tasia, having that person to speak to, if you are following, like, her footsteps, that would be powerful. All right. And if anyone would like to be a guest on my show, there's a link that you can find somewhere in the email, somewhere on Facebook, that you can apply and be a guest on my show, and we can have an amazing conversation. Until next time, sending so much love your way, and we'll see you for episode 17. Bye.
Bye.